So, working as an agency of record for Bridgeman, Manna Hospitality Group, one of my roles is the principal of that agency. I'm a local agency for Wendy's because that's, we own and operate several in the Midwest, and also kind of partnering with sports teams. That's one of the things that we do. We do really well. So this presentation, if nothing else, take away what if. You wake up in the middle of the night thinking about something, what if? Really follow through with that and really kind of vet it, talk to your partners, and see if a crazy, crazy idea is something that actually can come to life. If it can't, at least you vetted it, but always try to go that extra mile and follow through with your idea, because this time it won, right? So
we've won a couple times.
Yeah, we won a couple times.
So it all began with a dream or something.
Yeah,
I think
a dream.
We'll
get to that. Yeah,
okay,
we'll get to that. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to go back. So in 2015, we've been partnering with the Milwaukee Bucks. And for those who don't follow sports, where'd he go? He's over there. Steve, he doesn't follow sports. It's basketball.
I know Steve gets on the phone every time. He's like, who are the Blues? I'm like, we're in NHL now.
Yeah, so we have a long-standing partnership with them going over 20 plus years. We did different iterations with them over time, and you went ahead. You're supposed to go back a slide.
How do
Use
I
the red
go back?
button. Go back.
I'm sorry, I'm
It's
not
all
doing
right.
a good job.
I know.
Okay.
There you go. Stay there. Don't
Okay,
tell me.
okay, you tell me when to go.
Sorry. So in 2015, we started the program Bucks When You Win. And basically, it was whenever the Bucks won a home game, you could go in, any fan could go into any of our 52 Wisconsin Wendy's, so it's a statewide program, and get a free small chili with the purchase of a medium drink. So there's a lot to remember there. Did they win at home? Did they win away? Got to get in for your chili and get a drink. So a lot of pieces to it. So also in 2015, we had a kind of upgrade to our POS system. So we worked with Wendy's, and they actually were able to put in a button for us, Bucks When You Win button, on the registers. So if someone comes in for their free small chili with the purchase of a drink, they push that button. So we started to be able to track these and track the redemptions. And how this is all communicated is through several channels. We run a spot on Bally TV during every single game. A produced spot that we did for Bucks When You Win. We are on the Bucks social, and if you don't follow them, you should. They do a great job, but you can see our stuff on the Instagram stories. As soon as they win, they put it up, Bucks When You Win. We do a big shoot with them every summer, and so we've got 8 different creatives that we run with them. So it shows up on their story right after the win, and then the next morning it shows up on X, formerly Twitter. Same creative, they push it out, reminding people to go get your free small chili. But we also had a local sports partnership, and they pushed it out crazy. And the hosts of that show were talking about it all the time. So in 2020, we decided we're going to shake this up a little bit. We really didn't love the chili. We had added a junior bacon cheeseburger at one point, so we had a choice, but it was always with the purchase. And that's not really a win. That's not a celebration. So in 2020, we switched it over to Bucks When You Win, a free Frosty. So you walk in, you get a free small Frosty, you say Bucks When You Win, no purchase necessary. And one of the things we say all the way down to the store level, we're always reminding them, do not give people the side eye if they only come in for the Frosty. Give them the Frosty, it's a celebration. If they buy something with it, great. Otherwise, just celebrate with them that the Bucks won. So now we have Bucks When You Win, free Frosty, 2020 it starts, and it's amazing. I mean, redemptions were just blow out of the water. It was a huge success, and we knew it would be. Everybody loves a free Frosty. But in 2022, we came into a challenge, and that's where this whole story starts. The challenge was that the sports partners that we had, the sports radio, they flipped over to syndicated programming. So no more local shows, no more pushing Bucks When You Win. And all of a sudden we thought, well, in our media mix, how much of that audience actually is the ones who are redeeming? Who is going? We don't know who's going to redeem, but we didn't want to guess how many, what is that going to do to our redemptions, is what's going to happen. So that was my job. Everybody looked to me and said, what are we going to do instead? And the easy thing was to go on another sports station, and I didn't want to do that. I didn't think that was something that we should do. I want to make it bigger. I want to make it better. What should we do? So in the middle of the night, I wake up with this crazy idea and went back to bed and thought, never. But I said, you know what? Tomorrow morning, I'm going to call my friend Kristy, and what did I ask?
She goes, I don't really have a whole lot of money, but what if we went up on Space Avail? What if we just put up our creative on a few digital boards in the greater Milwaukee DMA? But here, Kristy, here's the issue. We don't want the boards if they don't win. So we only want to go up if they win. I'm like, are you crazy? Like, how am I going to get, but like, you can't just call up Ian Delamore and say, hey, bud, hey, I need a few billboards in Milwaukee. And if they don't win, I don't actually want them, and you can't charge me. He's like, you are crazy, but I still love you, friend. So anyway, it took me a few minutes, but yeah, we were able to go up on, we would find out, the Sunday or the Monday before the games that week, if any space available billboards in the greater Milwaukee and Wisconsin DMA. And yeah, we slotted in, and we were going up. If the Bucks win, the whole town gets a free Frosty. But yeah, so we went up on 10 digital billboards following the wins. I think we started with 7 games.
It was a 7-game test.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I guess let's go.
Yeah.
She's
So
like,
what happened?
Yeah, she's like, I have $1,000. I'm like, you've lost your mind, Gina. I go to my business partner, Doug Connor. I'm like, yeah, we've got $1,000 a day.
Gina's at it again.
Gina's at it again. Who's this Gina lady? Now they get to meet in person, which has been nice. But yeah, so we tried it, and then we tried it again in the fall, and you can, I should probably
now go to the next.
Okay,
all right, there we go. So here's our season recap. So for the test, you can see in the green bars, the test win redemptions increased 53% versus the highest week of that year. So we knew we were onto something. This was just during the test. Then we looked at the same chunk of time. We were up 200% versus the year ago. So like, this is definitely working. This is bringing the whole program to eyeballs that had not seen it before. They weren't in the arena where we have stuff. They weren't on Bucks Social. They're not watching Bally. They're Bucks fans, but they're not following them as closely and not seeing the program. So it's kind of like a Venn diagram. They're over here in Wendy's lovers, and then there's Milwaukee Bucks lovers, and the people in the middle are probably the ones redeeming. And now all of a sudden, we've opened up this space to this Wendy's Venn diagram. These Wendy fans didn't know about it or didn't hear it all the time. They didn't have that frequency, and they're seeing it up on these billboards. So season ending, you can see we were up 73% in redemptions, which is huge.
And the only thing that changed
was the digital out of home. And we included the detail here for 2020, 2021, because that's when they won the national championship. And that's when they go through 4 rounds of playoffs. And I'm telling you, redemptions for playoffs are through the roof. I mean, it's unbelievable. So even going through 4 rounds of playoffs with huge redemptions for when they won the championship, we were still up above that for when we did our test. So now,
and also when those people came to get the Frosty, they were also buying additional products as well.
I would say about 80% of people spend money when they come. So then, now everybody in the room is up to speed. The people who saw it before, now the new people.
Sorry for the long explanation, but now you're on board with the 8 people that heard us in Austin.
Right.
Ian, we good? Ian, we're still on track, right?
Yeah. Yep. Okay. All right. Okay. So we're tracking. Okay. All right. So now, all right, we want to talk about what's next, what's happening. So this year, going to 23, 24, we decided to do the same strategy in terms of 2 wins or 2 showings every month from start in October, late October. It's going to go all the way through until they don't play anymore. Don't jinx anything. So where are we? We have up to the minute results for this presentation, but we looked at it year over year, which everybody in this room looks at stuff year over year, and redemptions were only up 3%. And we're like, that's not so great. But when I really looked at it, I was like, wait, this is a win trigger promotion. You can only measure wins versus wins. So this time last year, they had won 48 games. This time this year, they had only won 42. So we had to back that up and look at 42 versus 42 wins. And we do that, and I also checked out-of-home showings. We were at 11 out-of-home showings last year in 42 wins, 11 out-of-home showings this year in 42 wins. And we're up 25% year over year. So that's huge. So we showed you the 73% last, for 2 years ago, and now 25% this year. So the program is continuing to grow. There doesn't seem to be wear out. It's great for us. It's great for the city. It's great for the state because it is a statewide program. And this is just a fun picture of our big Jumbotron in Fiserv Forum. If you haven't seen a game there, you should go. It's amazing. They do a great job. But it's just huge, beautiful, creative when we win.
Yep. So we'll share this, but
that's our little bango. What happens when you? Yeah, that's part of our
this
creative.
This is where the story gets good. I call my buddy Seth. I'm like, Seth, we're up 25% more because we were on stage a few times, at other meetings. He's like, Kristi, okay, great. Like, what else? I'm like, thanks, pal. Like you got to bring some more context to the stage if you want to go back. And so I'm like, okay. So now I'm waking up in the morning saying, Gina, what else you got? She's like, well, we've got St. Louis.
I got Bango, and he's carrying a Frosty.
Yeah.
So what do?
We go to a new city.
Yep. We put the show on repeat. New team, new city. Since 2020, we've been partnering with the St. Louis Blues. And for those who are not sports fans, that's hockey, the NHL. And different city. St. Louis is a different sports city. They don't have NBA team. They don't have a football team anymore. So different city, but it's the same program. Blues win, you win. If the Blues win, you get a free small Frosty, that night and 24 hours into the next day. So it's 38 locations, a little bit smaller footprint than there is in Wisconsin, but also the awareness of the program is lower. So we've been around with this whole Bucks partnership for years and years and years. Bucks win, you win since 2015. So this is brand new. So it's a little bit smaller of a program. It's the longevity, as I said, it was not there. Overall media presence is lower. So we don't do any TV with them. We don't do any radio with them. We're really just in arena, but also the Blues social. And if anybody follows the Blues social, it runs the same way. Instagram story, we're up that as soon as they win. And then they push it out on X. But the social footprint for the Blues, a lot smaller than the Bucks. So we were kind of seeing redemptions sort of flatten year over year. So what does Kristi say?
Let's call Kristi and see. So it was great. I was like, yeah, and you guys, this is all real time. We started our first contract, and shout out to our out front friends, Doug Cordova in the room, but literally called like the last week of February because, we knew the show was coming up. And so Outfront has a DDA program, so digital direct. So we knew from our key learnings in Milwaukee, we needed at least 500,000 impressions. And again, she's like, I have $1,000 a day. Again, I'm like, okay. Which if you do the calculation, anybody who's not a math major, it's like a $2 CPM, which is absolutely unheard of. I'm like, okay, Gina, let's give it a whirl.
It's heard of in my little world.
Yeah. So again, we slotted. She went and got the Blues approval, Wendy's legal. All the things to get this approved. And so we slotted in, and again, thanks to our friends at Outfront, I'm like, no, we can't go up. If they don't win, we don't want to pay for it. We'll go into the next slot. So literally our first game we were slotted in for was March the 4th. What's the day today?
March 20 something.
So this all had to happen, and I'm like, yep, Seth, Steve, put us on the roster. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but Gina's like, you are absolutely nuts, and you've lost your mind.
And what will we tell them if it doesn't work?
That it didn't work. I don't know. I guess I just knew it would, right?
Right.
So,
she's a good cheerleader.
Yep. So 500,000 impressions within a 24-hour period. And what's interesting about this one is we actually turned off so it goes up 8:41, 8:42, 8:43-ish is when, at least Mountain Time, it's probably 9:40, 10:40 your Boston time. Mm-hmm. But so we would go up the minute there's a direct feed, API feed between NHL and Outfront. And so we would go up the minute they won. And then guess what? Midnight, dark. And then guess what? We turned back on at 6 a.m. Getting 500,000 impressions on 38 billboards in like a 20-hour period is not easy. So this is kind of, heavens, I'm pushing the red button.
Heavens, you should not be trusted with the clicker.
You told me use the clicker.
I know.
You knew that was a mistake.
I wanted to just see if you could do it.
So I would send her these reports. One day we actually got 728,000 impressions, but on average it was always over 500,000. So just to give you an idea, every single picture, and it's interesting, you know, with this DDA program, you can see the variance. So, I mean, these are keyboards. Literally every single place you went in St. Louis, you could not miss this board. And if it wasn't on one, it was on another. And it might have been like some folks' like way to work. They would see this thing like 10 times. So I'm like, this cannot not succeed. But again, we didn't know.
Right. Until.
All right. So now I'm
Until
going
they
back
won.
to you.
Yeah,
So
so
they
it's-
won 3-4.
Yeah. Yeah, they won.
They won.
Yep.
And I'm like, we've got a story for
Yep,
our
now we
events
have a
in
story.
Scottsdale.
Right. But we've been on pins and needles. Like, what if that was an anomaly? What if they don't, you know, doesn't keep happening? So
It's very similar to getting your blood drawn and waiting to see what your cholesterol level is.
Right.
I'm like, Gina, I need some.
Yeah.
I need something.
You're
'cause
right,
I don't
right.
know.
So we know they win, and then we have to wait 24 hours to get the results. But, you know, they have a button, the same button on their registers, and so we pull the results in, get all the tracking. First win, we were up 20% versus the prior win. So that was great news.
I'm like,
exciting.
we're in business. I call Steve. I'm like,
Yep.
Steve, buddy, we got a story.
Yeah, we've
Put
got
us
our
on the
story.
docket for real.
That was the highest single game average for the season to date. Then we lost 3 games. So like
Loss,
that
loss,
was so sad
loss.
because we've found with these sports partnerships, if they don't keep winning, the momentum just drops right off, and it's like recreating the wheel again. So we lost 3 games. Then we have the second win. Flat results, nothing big. We're getting nervous. Maybe we don't have an agenda item for media posts.
I'm calling him back,
Right.
Gina.
We don't, yeah. That third win, we go right back up to the first win. And then the fourth win, we win right after that. Outpaced the other wins, and we were up 17%. And then fifth win, we stayed at par with that. It was literally day after day after day. The fifth win of the test, which was the final, was 3 days ago, 4 days ago.
Yeah.
So these are literally like last minute results. But just great to see that the power of this medium, and clearly we have a reach problem with the Blues in terms of the program, and we'll address that. But just adding this extra layer of digital out of home has pushed us, you know, well beyond what we thought we could do in this market as well. So that's exciting. That's the end of our presentation.
How cool is that, you
but
guys?
yeah.
It's the power of our medium.
Right?
So
But
it's
we
just
have-
fun. It's so fun to live like real time and do this and be able to share it with you guys because we're all passionate about out of home. And so it's just really cool that, you know, it's like we preach and we talk about how awesome it is, but just to see these results is just super exciting. So we were happy to share it with you guys first. And as a little thank you, because guess what? Guess who won last night? We had 2 winners last night. The Bucks
The
won.
Bucks
And
and the Blues.
they both won.
They both win. So
So,
you guys get to win.
so we are delivering the very newest Dreamsicle Frosty to each and every one of you in the crowd because the Bucks won and the Blues won.
Yay. And then Doug Connor has a special treat for you, for everybody. They're going to help pass them out. He's going to pass them out. We actually have Frosty key tags for everybody. If you're not familiar with the program, you put it on your keychain, and you guys can go in this entire year whenever you want. Whenever you purchase, you get a free Junior Frosty with your meal too. So use that. Use it often. It's a great, you know, fundraiser for Wendy's, and you get them free. And enjoy your Frosties. And I hope you like the new flavor.
Yeah, let us know what you think. They
Yeah.
just came out Monday, so.
By the way, this is where my ignorance of sports really paid off because I had no idea we were really risking them not winning.
Right.
Oh,
Because I didn't even know what damn sport we were talking about.
Right.
we get on for our initial call. He's like, is this hockey, soccer,
Right.
lacrosse? I'm like, no, it's hockey, buddy. Yeah.
Right. Here.
Any questions?
Yes.
Oh, we have a question. We have a couple questions.
Yeah, Javier from MediaCom working with Gustavo on PlayStation. This presentation and just case study was amazing. I have so many questions.
Love
From
that.
like a negotiation standpoint, that when you guys talked about we want to do billboards, but only if they win. Can you guys talk about that a little bit more? Because that to me, like from a negotiation level, seems
Yeah.
crazy. And then, what made you guys choose St. Louis? I think you guys had a good footprint in Milwaukee, so to move to Like,
We're still in Milwaukee. We're keeping it. We just brought
Okay.
the program. We just enhanced it in 2020 and brought it to St. Louis as well.
but why St. Louis?
Because
as
it's
well?
one of our markets. We own the majority there. So I'm the agency of record for St. Louis as well. So then I can keep an eye on it.
Gotcha.
I can work with our friends over here and say I have $1,000 to spend. And so we have full control. And because we pull all the data from our restaurants, from our Wendy's, so we need to do this program like soup to nuts. We need to do it in a market that we own or operate the majority of the Wendy's so that we can see the results.
And we can, so we, here at ODN, we handle all the local, Wendy's does not do any national out of home on any level. So there's 5 agencies. Gina's one of the 5 agencies. So we're doing this now in Nashville. We're doing it with the Philly Eagles, Frosty Freeze-Outs, the Giants. Like, we have so many case studies now on the different sports teams and what works. So would love to share that. It's just simply, I think when Gina opened up today, it was like, if you don't ask, you don't get it, right? Like, I'm not afraid to ask. And partners might think you're crazy, but it's truly like the power, because guess what? Gina's gonna probably spend more money in out of home now that she knows. Oh yeah, she is, I think. I'm just kidding. But yeah, so we just ask, we have great partners, and yeah, it's a tough ask. So in Philly, we weren't able to come down. It's just dependent on market because ODN is so hyper local in all these markets. So if the Eagles didn't freeze out their opponent, they couldn't score any points in the first quarter. Everybody in Philly got a free Frosty. Is somebody an Eagles fan here? All right, whoop whoop. We put up, the biggie bag or one of the other creatives on those units. So it's very dependent by market, but we love to dig in and figure out what is possible.
Cool. Thank you.
Oh, look,
Yeah.
I love questions. Yes.
You go. Okay, we talked about redemptions. It's awesome. Talk to me about sales. How did
Remind
sales
us who you
improve?
are and where you're from. Sorry, voice of God. Sorry, just so we know.
Voice of God.
We have people actually watching at home. Actually, sorry you didn't get the Frosties, people at home.
It's
but,
terrifying.
Yeah. They're like, wait, I should come to one of these events if I get a free Frosty.
Right.
Jessica Edwards Albertsons.
Hey, Jessica.
Yeah, we talked about redemptions. Amazing. Just curious about sales. How did sales improve?
They did really well. They did really.
All you'll say.
We did really well. Yeah. Yeah, we're very limited as to what we can say, but
Okay.
in terms of driving sales figures, we were up 76% in terms of this program year over year. So I can give you percentages. I
And she
can't
did
give you
also
numbers.
state on the record that 80% of those people didn't just get the free Frosty.
Right.
They probably got some fries and maybe a drink and maybe a burger too. But the good news is that's obviously the whole point is to drive folks in and spend
Right.
lots more money. So
I think it's important too, and I had it written down here, but I can't see, is to
I know.
note that we do not have any signage at the restaurants. Zero. There is zero. You walk into any of our Wendy's, you will not see that we have a partnership with the Bucks. This is all traffic driving. We don't want to get people who are coming in anyway to say, oh yeah, can we have that? They absolutely have to come in and say Bucks when you win. And it's just become part of the culture and the fabric in, Wisconsin that people do it. And all of our employees are so excited about the program. They love it. They love to celebrate with everybody. And it's free. I mean, nobody gives away something free like that. And so it's really become, a huge traffic driver for us. And we just, can't wait to get redemption results the next day. And then when the Bucks stop playing, we're like, now what? We wait until October and do the program all over again. Yeah, thanks.
Adam Kahansky from Broadsign. Love
Hello.
to see the continued success of this. I guess you got a taste of it with the Blues when they have a losing streak. Is there like a plan B for running the same program if the team you're sponsoring maybe isn't having a great season?
So that's an excellent
Really
question.
good question,
Yep,
Adam.
and it comes up a lot with the Blues. The Bucks, they just win all the time. So it's great. So we're like,
we hit
we don't have to worry about what do you
a
mean they
major
lose?
bump in the road. I'm like, Gina, we've lost 3 in a
Three
row.
in a row, I know. So a couple things there. Plan B, not so much in terms of what you can pivot and do, but the way I've structured the contracts with the sports partners is because it's win triggered, and we only get exposure, and the partnership is only kind of realized when they win. We build in a sort of threshold. So it behooves the teams to win, let's just say that. So we build in a threshold, so they have to meet this amount percentage in order to get paid this amount to get paid this. Because that partnership only shines when they win, so we shouldn't have to pay a full premium if they're not winning. So is there a plan B? It comes off the bottom line. But also we have built in, I think it's if 9 days, I believe, if they go 9 days without a win, we have money in a bank that they put aside for us, that when they win the next like 2, 3, 4 games, they also push out on Meta and on X for us at this just while we're winning. We found the hard way is that when they advertise this program, when maybe a lull in the season or maybe when they're not doing well, the feedback that they got is like, yeah, hurry up and win, and we'll go get our Frosty, So you don't want to get the fans all like snarly and snarky. So we just push it out. So when it does, like if there's a lull in winning for 9 days, that next win, next 2 win, next 3 win, they really blast it out for 24 hours on social as a paid component, and that comes out of their budget, not my budget.
Just to add to the Ian Dallimore, Lamar Advertising. Just to add to the first question, I think more of a statement for everyone else. It proves the evolution of technology, and on a publisher side, in the past, it's very much been, you have to have a contract. If it's contracted, then you have to run. The evolution of both programmatic and ad serving now allows us to be able to present things where it's set in place, not just a win, but also if it begins to rain in a certain market. So I believe that the technology starts to enhance brands that maybe would not, from a performance base or a conditional marketing base, would not be allowed, and probably spend money on online, mobile, and social, but now because of out-of-home has transformed and has evolved. So I applaud all the tech people that are listening and in this room that help push our industry further. So
Absolutely. This wouldn't have been possible years ago. Yeah.